Okay.
Oh, sweet, ready. Let's go.
I apologise for the delay.
Don't worry about it.
You do make your way into sort of the outskirts of Nauheim, and you don't see sort of anything on your way. Like I say, you get a little bit paranoid at times, but that's mostly just yourself thinking you're being followed. That's what you kind of shake it off and believe it to be.
Me being paranoid that Lily's about to die.
That does happen.
That's not paranoid.
Now,
This is
to give it
happening.
some
Yeah.
backstory from the things that you would know, Nauheim is basically in this sector that you're in. So the map that you saw is basically the sector that you're walled into. Nauheim is basically the biggest city that's not completely under Eclipse control. Eclipse is still trying to sort of fill it with propaganda and all those kinds of things, but the mayor of Nauheim is very much against Eclipse, and it's kind of known that he's against Eclipse, and because of that, it's become a semi-stronghold against Eclipse. However, they still have a lot of jurisdiction there because it's within what's classed as their sector. So it's a bit of a power struggle.
Lily's face.
It's a bit of a power struggle type place. So you're bound to find resistance from. You're bound to find kind of things from both sides, probably giving you both a little bit of grief and trying to turn you against the other. Something that, is just inconsequential to what you're trying to do at the moment. It's just a thing. People from Nauheim kind of come to accept it. But it's the biggest town that's open for kind of free trade as well as black market trade if you know the right people to talk to. It's also the kind of place that if you know the right kind of people to ask and you ask in the right way, you can probably get yourself pretty much anything within Nauheim. The one thing is, in order to try and stop contraband coming in and out, Eclipse have set up a large perimeter around it. So it's now become a completely fenced-in community, and there are checkpoint gates on both entrances that they've sort of controlled. The checkpoints are essentially very tall, very hard to penetrate grids. So think of them as if you were to sort of touch this grid, it would basically electrocute you.
It's basically the
very
fence that
heavily.
kept the T-Rex in, then.
Yeah, essentially, that's what you've got around this entire place. And
It's
ever
alright,
since
that means
that-
if it can't, because that fence couldn't keep a T-Rex in, and in which case Omen can break in there, no problem.
ever since that kind of gate, that fence has appeared, things have slowed down as far as the resistance are concerned and gotten more manageable as far as Eclipse are. It's a fairly recent addition, this lovely fence, and you can tell that the mayor, as well as most of the people of Nauheim, really aren't happy with it. As you approach, you see basically this fence off in the distance because it gives it kind of a blue glow all the way around the outside, what with the sort of lovely crackling lightning that you hear every now and then basically coming from it. You see it kind of off in the distance. At this point now, the sun has sort of just about set. It's getting towards the time of nighttime, which is just about the time everything really opens in Nauheim. It's known for being more of a nighttime kind of place to get your dodgy deals done. So you came at the right kind of time. Off in the distance, you can see the eastern checkpoint of the town. So as you'd be approaching it, you would be coming in from there, should you come in. I can't make the map I can make the map bigger, actually, but I just don't want to. Do you decide to approach it normally, or what do you do beforehand, so I know?
I would probably say, is there any sort of stragglers lurking around anywhere, or?
On the outside, there are a couple of kind of homeless people, people that have been kicked out of Nauheim, so you've got a few sort of aggressive-looking types. Towards the outside, there are a few kind of just vagabonds is kind of the best word for it, and a couple of people kind of arguing with some of the security outside, some of the Eclipse officers. They've got kind of minor ranking Eclipse officers, but you can tell it's the kind of place where if you start shit, a hell of a lot more people are going to turn up.
Okay.
So from what we can see, how many Eclipse officers seem to be around the gate?
There's about 2 or 3 kind of directly at the gate. So there's about 2 or 3 who are kind of there at the actual checkpoint. And then there's another sort of 4 or 5 on the actual just outside of the wall itself. So just along that wall, kind of patrolling, keeping an eye out, that kind of thing.
So there are, generally, even around the town, there's going to be Eclipse people.
Yeah.
Pretty much at all times.
No way I'm going in there.
Not without disguise, anyway.
Can
Okay,
we
so
see anything about like what they're actually doing at the checkpoint when people try and pass? Are they like searching people? Are there like scanners or anything?
You see a couple of people sort of heading in and out the checkpoint. It mainly seems to be that when they go in and out, they're scanned with a kind of what looks like a little handheld device. It's basically what you can tell Harvey to be sort of a handheld metal detector more than anything. So they're kind of scanning for things like weapons. They're allowing people with weapons in. However, big enough weapons do get a lot of questions asked.
Is this a road heading in then?
Yeah, this is kind of a
So is
dirt
there
road.
like transport vehicles and stuff heading in?
It's a dirt road, but at the moment there don't seem to be many transport vehicles at all. Like you haven't heard one come by in quite a while.
Okay.
these metal detectors, I've got some signal jammers. Is it that kind of? Is it something that one of my signal jammers could potentially prevent from setting anything off?
Your knowledge of that seems to indicate yes.
Cool.
I love how he never gives you a straight answer.
It's just like life. You never know for sure. You're pretty certain.
How big's Maurice?
Maurice is about knee high.
So too big to go in a bag.
Depends how big your bag is.
Too big to go in my bag because
Too big to go in your bag.
I probably won't be able to pick him up. I'm just trying to figure out. Well, we know, like based on what we've kind of discussed already, we kind of know that me and Dalton are gonna. We're gonna see if Dalton is able to carry. Well, we've got two options. We either see if Dalton can carry Lily and put Amira's face onto Lily, or we put Dalton's face onto Omen, and Amira's face onto Lily. So we know that Omen's strong enough to get him in, and then that's when Omen's in there. We can maybe corner some because I don't know anything about Dalton. Obviously, we know for a fact that Omen can probably force someone and intimidate someone to letting them take his photo in there.
That seems a good
The
plan.
only risk with Omen going in there is if they see his arm. That's all. So
Omen
pretty
would
big
be
flick.
extremely concerned as he has a bad history with the Resistance, as you've seen, and he's not exactly popular with Eclipse either. So,
Just with anyone.
Well, my
as
only
Omen,
concern
I'd
is
be
that
incredibly
are you remaining
hesitant.
Are you remaining outside for the entirety, or? Which surely
Well,
want
that's up to us, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if they're scanning. Depends how.
So we need to kind of test whether or not my signal jammer prevents the scanner really before.
If you can get me, my arm is concealed anyway because I do wear a glove on that
Yeah,
arm.
you need to prevent the scanner from picking up, and I have two signal jammers. I have two.
If you can prevent the scanner, I'll carry her in.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest then, first of all, is because I feel like a laptop is not contraband. What I'm going to do is what I'm going to suggest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over one of the signal jammers to you, Omen.
Okay.
I'll show you how it works, the basics of how to make it work and things. I'm going to then go by myself to the checkpoint to go in. If not, because obviously I do have metal on me, and obviously the scanner will bring it up. They'll then want to. If you see them search my bag, then that means the jammer's not working. In which case, go with Dalton brings her in. If it doesn't pick anything up, then we go with the second option. Bring. I don't. Well, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think it's just better off just sending Dalton in initially?
I still think it'd be worth testing it even before I try and carry her in, to be honest, because I've got guns on me that they are going to question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll still test it, but what in terms of like coming in, regardless of whether or not it sets. So if it doesn't set off the metal detector, then how do we?
Well, if it doesn't, we still need.
We're in.
We still need to get Omen a photograph so he can swap his face before he can carry her in.
Do you feel comfortable and confident in that we could maybe I could potentially talk someone into letting me take a photograph of them? Whereas I feel confident that Omen can probably intimidate someone into doing that. But then maybe do we want to intimidate? Because then they might go and tell someone and cause a scene.
Do we even need to get permission? I mean, how close do you need to get with this mask? Can we just walk past someone and take a photograph?
Yeah, Tim, can we?
If you were to do it, obviously, if someone saw you doing it, they'd be a little bit annoyed at you. And, what happens when Eclipse people get a little bit annoyed. But you're welcome to try it. It could physically work if you were to do it.
Yeah.
And not get seen.
Can we test how obvious this thing is when it takes photograph? I mean, if it's just like silent, then
Yeah, is it like a big
You
flash,
really
like a
have
big
your hand
massive camera, or is it just like a little sort of electronic sort of, the standard sort of?
Nowadays, when I say nowadays, in this kind of day and age that we're playing in, it wouldn't have a flash. It would just be able to change the contrast on the fly and be able to get a good clear picture at night. Most cameras have sort of night vision-y type things that are fantastic.
So it wouldn't be that obvious then, would it? It'd be quite...
That aperture in ISO has come a long way.
It has indeed.
Okay, so I think I think first priority is get Lily into a doctor immediately. That's the main priority. Secondary priority is to get this mask calibrated so that we can then, if we can get a doctor that we can trust,
the
then
risk-free option could be that someone went in who's not wanted at all and is likely to be unrecognisable and persuades a doctor to come out.
I hadn't thought of that.
That's more time, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
and it depends whether
And
they
then
actually
they
get
might
the
need
surgery
surgery.
they need
Get
or not.
there. Did you
They
say?
might need the
Sorry.
surgery. Yeah, how long have we got left? Or based on rough theory?
It took you around sort of 10 hours travelling, so you're also a little tired. Nothing major, but just a little tired as well.
Okay. I would say we need to I think we need to get her in there. We need to get her to a doctor so that he has all of his tools and implements. Anything we need.
Go test your
Okay.
scan
So
blocker thing then.
Okay, so I hand I show all three of you how to operate this secondary one that I've got. So I need to take one of them out.
So who's following you in if yours works? Because obviously you're gonna have to go in. You can't come back for us. I probably shouldn't follow you in because
Yeah, I agree. It's
how am
probably
I
better
gonna
than Dolan.
how am I gonna talk my way in once you're not there? Because you'll have to go in without me, and I'm gonna have to try convince them. They might ask me questions and stuff.
And yeah,
Don't know if you know, I'm not very charismatic.
Yeah. Okay then. So, well, first of all, Amira, if you've got that mask, can we take a picture of your face and put that onto Lily?
Yep.
So.
If these are
Get it
observant
out.
guards, though, that's going to also mean that Amira can't then go in.
Yeah, because they'll
Because they'll then
recognise
see
it.
exactly the same person as has just been carried past them, walking past them.
Unless we talk someone who's in there to come out wearing the mask.
Could we go to a different entrance? Is there another
Yeah,
entrance?
there's more than one entrance.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So we could in theory
we
go
don't
around.
know that, do we? We don't know that. And the guards might change.
I love
Yeah,
how long
Dave.
it takes us to start any of this stuff off.
know,
Like,
it's-
the
yeah.
first door into everything
Right,
always takes us like
what we're
4
doing
hours.
is we're thinking too heavily about this. So what I think we do is I'm going to test it. We're going to put the mask onto Lily of Amira because we need to get Lily in there, and I'm concerned that the Eclipse guards will recognise Lily based on what's happened, and because she had to leg it, so her face will be plastered for everyone in Eclipse to know. So they'll spot her immediately, and she'll get taken away, and we don't want that. So we need to put Amira's disguise onto Lily, and then after I've checked to see if this works, Dolan then follows me through.
But
With
if we've
Lily.
only got one signal jammer, then me following you through, my guns are going to kick off the
No,
alarms.
there's two. There's two.
I've got one.
Yeah.
You've got
Gonna
the
give
Then
you
is
one. Lily's not got. We need to make sure. So can we search Lily to make sure she's got nothing metallic?
okay, but then we're assuming Omen isn't
The
going to follow
bullet.
us in because he won't then have.
Well, yeah, but we
Unless
could
someone
just have
comes out and
Dolan.
takes it.
If she's only got the bullet in her, and that sets it off, we can be like, look, she's been shot. But then what's the cover story?
Think of that on the fly.
Oh. Yeah, so Dolan, wing it.
I could distract the guards. They would
Oh,
recognise me. They would chase
Yeah,
me.
but
The only issue with that is how many more guards are we going to end up with if you start causing a fuss.
that's not an option. So right, so I just think we go with that. You just say that she's been shot by someone tried mugging
Let's
you.
just say we don't know who she is. We found her on the way here.
Yeah, better, brilliant.
And you're meant to be the fast talker.
So yeah, so that's what we're doing. So these are the actions we've taken. Tell me if we need to roll anything, Tim. So we've taken a picture of the mirror, put one mask onto Lily of a mirror, so they're now pretty much identical, except one's got a bullet wound and in quite a lot of pain. Secondly, well, unconscious, not pain. I currently... do I have the second mask, or does Dalton carry the second mask?
I have the second mask.
I know, but who's carrying it in? Either me or Dalton have to carry it in, because we need to get a picture of someone to then give to you.
I'll
Have
give
you
it
got
to
anything else
Dalton
that's
then.
going to kick off the scanners?
Yeah, if I'm going first and it kicks off the scanner, then... Is the mask contraband?
Very, very much so.
Very much so. Okay, so Dalton, you bring this in with you.
They're going to like me.
We'll know if the signal jammer... Are the signal jammers identical, by the way?
Yes.
They are identical. So...
Okay, so I'm going to have to hang back some out of you, because otherwise
Yeah.
I'll be wandering
Well,
up
you
with
stay-
this body
all-
over my shoulder. I'll see you get stopped, and I'll be like,
All-
I'm going to go this way instead.
All of you... I've still got communication with you, so, I mean, a
You can
communication
just let him
device.
know.
Yeah.
I need
Okay,
to leave,
so I'll wait here with Lily. Hurry up and try and get in there.
I have to leave Maurice with you guys, because he's contraband too, if I'm seen...
Yep.
Well,
I look after him.
he is illegal. Like, it's illegal to own one, but it's not illegal.
Leave
They're
him out
allowed...
here. Once
I know,
we're
I'm
in
just
there,
intrigued,
get him to
like-
walk in on his own.
But
If he
no-
walks in on his own, what's going to happen?
Will he be allowed to walk in on his own, is more the question.
Don't know.
Just leave him out here.
Leave Maurice out there. Alright, so I'm going. So we've done that. So Lily now looks like a mirror. Dalton's going to bring Lily in. Dalton's got the second mask. I've just got my usual stuff on me, but I've switched my signal. I've switched both signal jammers on. I've calibrated them and done all that jazz, so that I don't have to rely on one of the other guys doing it. And I approach the station.
I'm just revealing relevant bits.
Do.
Okay, as you approach the station, it's basically manned by 2 guards checking people going in and people going out. As you approach the station, obviously they turn to you. And they've got those lovely little scanners in hand, and they just turn and say, "You got anything on you?
Just my laptop.
Arms to the side, please." They scan you. What do you currently have on you, by the way?
What do I have on me?
Yeah.
Well, let me have a look.
Many things, isn't it?
Many things. I have a bloody keycard, the signal jammer that's on. I have 2 laptops. I have my,
key card.
I have,
Forgot about that.
so did I. I have
Let me just
I
check
have
my inventory before I want
Because that's not evidence. Ooh.
batteries, cabling, and camera lenses. So quite a few things, really. Like general bits. How bloody was this keycard? Because surely if it's been in my bag and my pocket all this time, the blood
Yeah.
eventually sort of.
It's dried on, though. There's bits of it. It's still very much
Scraped
DNA
away.
evidence, you know.
Yeah, well, it's just a keycard.
You may become the second most wanted man here.
I'm a fast talker.
It's not mine. I'm holding it for a friend.
I've come to hand it in as evidence. I should have fucking declared it, bastard.
Go on through.
Cheers.
Oh, you lucky
So
shit.
where's theirs?
I'm not looking forward to this.
And then is a Dalton following you?
Well, I guess. Well, can I go in first and see what I can see first of all?
Hang on, let me just. pop
Because
you
I.
Yeah, I'm waiting until I get told that it's safe to
Yeah,
try and
because
get
I've
through.
got communications with him, haven't
Yeah.
I? So I want to make
So-
sure. I want to tell him what I can see.
As you walk through, the main thing you can sort of see down that street, that same portrait that I'm using basically just means generic rabble. Just so you know.
Generic dude.
Generic dude 158. You know.
Okay, so it's just like a full straight down street. Is all
Yeah, so at the moment, the main thing you can see is sort of a full straight down street. Do you want to have a proper look around and see if you see anything then? Or that's what
Yeah.
you can currently see, just a few people talking. There's nothing really big city, you know.
Can I kind of investigate to see if anything particularly catches my eye?
Yep, do investigation wits. Because you've got to have your wits about you.
Please don't critically fail.
No, you know, there's absolutely nothing.
5. I must
Wow.
have seen something.
You did.
Do I see where the doctor's where the doctor is, maybe? That's what I'm hoping for. To be honest, that's probably more what I was looking for. But, you know, do I just see anything in general? More, it's probably a better question.
Yes, it is. It's a town. What do you expect?
I've had to zoom right out for
God.
like the stream thing. You can barely see.
If
the
I click that,
icons.
do you see anything now?
I'm not. I'm too zoomed in.
Go again.
No, I can't see anything.
Seeing
You click it
nothing.
towards the top or the bottom.
I don't know how how things show up for you. I've never.
All I can see is that street that you've.
There you go. You see that symbol
Okay.
on.
And am I aware of how it's titled?
Well, you know what it is anyway because
I know
you've
it,
seen
oh,
it
yeah.
from bits before, and you know when you were
met
with
them
those
at the
guys.
camp earlier.
Exactly, and you see that there.
Also, you made that visible to everyone.
Yes,
Alright.
and you see that there.
Okay.
Other than that, you don't really see much else. Things here don't tend to be signposted. It's one of those kind of places where if you need to ask, people kind of get a bit funny with you because it's one of those places where you only go there if you know what it is, and if you know what it is, you don't need to ask, you know. Very secretive, these people, for some strange reason, almost as if they're against a government or something.
Almost. Okay, so I messaged Dolan, tell him that I'm in. I got through fine. They asked me what I declared, and then it didn't set off the beeper, did it?
Nope, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. So I make him aware of that, and I would say, even though you rolled, I would say that maybe you were probably more likely to be rolling to see if the signal jammer probably didn't work or something.
I like how you declared
Well-
that you had a laptop. So if it was meant
Well,
to
'cause I
send
had
off
a
the signals, they would have been like, "What?"
Well,
Yeah,
I
I, have
feel
lots
that
of metal stuff on me.
it's the
but-
way that it's the way. Well, I guess maybe they didn't scan. Like I have a bag that's clearly got something in it, so
No, well, you made.
I made it through. We don't have to worry about that anymore. It's the next thing that I'm worried about. So yeah, I'll message you to let you know that I'm in. I'll meet you inside. I'll keep an eye out for you. But whilst he's trying to get in, I guess I'd go and stand over by that signal, that logo thing, and investigate some more.
Just a sec.
But I don't know whether it's worth trying to get Dolan in before we kind of get further. I guess I just sort of move in, so don't just look like I'm standing around the entrance waiting. Is more the main thing. I kind of stroll away from the entrance, but sort of make myself look as less inconspicuous as I can, despite the fact that I have striking look. Fingers crossed that this goes well. The question is are you going to declare? Are you bringing your big gun in? That's the question. Or are you going to hide in, knowing that I know where you've come from?
Metagaming, I'm worried about him being recognised.
Okay, so what's happening now then? Who's doing what, when, why, where, how?
So I've moved away from the entrance so that I don't look like I'm loitering, waiting for someone. And then I guess we need to try and get Dolan in.
Yep, if you want to try it.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna have to give it a go. So I'll try and pick Lily up from, well, take her off Omen. Now looking like a mirror, obviously. And yeah, try and take her over to the checkpoint.
Okay, just to make sure you don't, drop her or anything silly, let's have a strength.
Harvey, if I drop her on her head, I apologise.
Let's.
If you drop her on her head and kill her, you better think up a good excuse.
I just said the guards did it.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Critical
strength
fail.
athletics for me.
Remember,
Just you come all this
D10.
fucking way and then you try and run around and just. Oh,
Just as I try and take her off your lap.
oh that'd be amazing. It'd be so good. Yeah, strength athletics.
2 successes.
So you're heading over towards the guards?
Unfortunately, I am heading over towards the guards.
It's almost like it's a checkpoint to make you feel nervous or something.
I know.
Remember, you're free to move your own character.
It's like being airport security.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting nervous in case I checked my shoes. Shit.
Well, the dead
Is that where you
body
keep the anthrax?
No.
No, I would never do that. Is it just
Keep that in
me,
my
or
socks.
when you go through like security places and things like that, do you just get the overwhelming urge to say everything inappropriate ever as well, or is that just me?
No,
Like as soon as you head up to a security checkpoint and they say anything to declare, and you're just like bombs. Yeah, or is that just me?
I don't think they'd find it funny, to be honest.
I have
think-
I have lots of drugs up my rectum.
I've got drugs up your rectum. Please find them with your penis.
They can only be coaxed out by a ginormous black man's penis.
It's true.
Anyway, back at the checkpoint.
Stop there.
Sorry.
I've got a woman here who needs help. I found her out in the woods. She's not in a good way.
Anything to declare?
Dying woman.
I need to get this woman to a doctor.
Just doesn't care.
Just as if the government doesn't care about people. Oh no! Please place her down on the medical bench here. They have like a little bench on the side, and they're asking you to sort of put her down first of all.
Okay, I'll go over and put her down.
Please place your arms up to your side.
Okay, do that.
He begins scanning you.
What's this giant rifle you're holding?
Is this a gigantic rifle, or are you just happy to see me?
What a peculiar case you're carrying.
He now starts scanning Lilamira.
Finds a bullet on her.
Take her through. Eclipse Medical is located towards the end of the main strip. Located on your. I'm trying to think my right and left now. Located on your left, second building towards the end of the main strip.
Yeah, I just nod.
Appreciate your mutual trust. You can tell he loves his job.
There isn't any. I just nod, pick her up, and yeah, head in.
Yeah.
So, towards, I guess, where Harvey is.
Mm-hmm. I say, did the guard say anything?
Nope, just scanned me and told me that medical was. So, did you say on the right? Down at the end on the right?
It's irrelevant. I don't want to
It's
go there.
down on the end on the right.
Yeah,
We need-
well, I'll tell you that anyway.
On the end on the left.
I'll point at the Nova sign and say we need to find the Nova doctors.